I am Gina with the Penobscot Marine Museum in Searsport, Maine, and we're looking at this painting of the Defender by Antonio Jacobson. To understand this painting, we need to know some background about the America's Cup. In the late 1800s, the America's Cup races were international competitions closely followed by the public, not unlike how we watch the Olympics today, except the information at that time was predominantly shared by newspapers. In 1895, the Republican Journal in Belfast, Maine, printed this concise history. On May 9, 1851, the Royal Yacht Squadron offered a cup valued at 100 pounds to yachts of all nations. The cup was sailed for August 22, 1851, over a 61-mile course from Cowes around the Isles of Wight and back, and was won by the America. Since then, the prize has been called the America's Cup. 7 schooners and 9 cutters competed with the America, and all were beaten, she being 20 minutes ahead of the nearest competitor. The America was owned by a syndicate composed of members of the New York Yacht Club. Some years later, 1857, the trophy was given by the owners of the America to the New York Yacht Club as a perpetual challenge cup. 8 challenges have been sent and accepted since. So to summarize, and this is an oversimplification, but this is the gist of it, the British Royal Yacht Squadron held a race in 1851. The prize was a fancy cup. The winning yacht was an American schooner called America. The men that owned the schooner America were members of the New York Yacht Club in New York City. They decided that the cup should be the trophy for a perpetual international race, where one yacht club chose a sailing yacht and challenged the yacht club that held the cup to a one-on-one race. The name is a little confusing. The cup is called the America's Cup because the schooner America was the first winner, not because the cup is owned by America, and not because the race happened or happens in America. As the Republican Journal remarked in 1895, after the America's Cup came to the New York Yacht Club, there had been 8 races for the America's Cup. Why was the Republican Journal talking about the international competition in 1895? A race was scheduled for September 1895 between a British syndicate led by Lord Dunraven of the Royal Yacht Squadron and a New York Yacht Club syndicate led by C. Oliver Iceland. And now we finally come back to the painting. This is the Yacht Defender. It was designed by Nathaniel Green Harrishoff and built by the Harrishoff Manufacturing Company in Bristol, Rhode Island. Harrishoff created a vessel that utilized the latest technologies. There was ample aluminum, which kept it light. It was framed in steel, plated with Tobin bronze below the waterline, and had lead ballast. Mixing of metals made it cutting edge, but each metal had different properties. Combining the metals, then putting them in salt water led to corrosion. The original mainmast was hollow steel, but when it buckled during a trial race, it was replaced with Oregon pine, as you can see in this painting. But this vessel was never intended to have a long life. It simply needed to go fast. The first race between the Defender and the British Valkyrie III ran on September 7, 1895. The starting line was at the Sandy Hook Lightship near the entrance to New York Bay. Over 200 steamers and other vessels carrying 60,000 spectators were vying for locations to see the race. As recounted in the Republican Journal, a Searsport-built craft was in the fleet that attended the America's Cup races. A Boston Globe Dispatch says, the little steam yacht Amadeus of filibustering memory was there, with N.L. Stebbins and party of Boston on board. The Defender won the 30-mile race by over 8 minutes. Here's a photograph of the Defender in 1895. The second matchup began on Tuesday, September 10, 1895. However, a spectator vessel instigated a run-in between the Valkyrie III and the Defender, resulting in damage to the Defender and a 1-minute delay in it crossing the starting line. The Valkyrie 3 finished the three-leg 30-mile course 47 seconds ahead of the Defender, but there was a protest relating to the collision. The New York Yacht Club Race Committee reviewed the evidence and ruled that the Valkyrie 3 was in the wrong and the race was the Defender's. The third race began September 12th, but after crossing the starting line, the Valkyrie 3 turned around and withdrew from the race in protest. The Defender completed the race. While the Defender was painted white during trial races, its hull was painted light blue before it faced the Valkyrie 3. Most paintings record the color of the hull as white, like in this reproduction print of the Defender based on an original painting by James Gale Tyler. But in the Antonio Jacobsen painting, the color is closer to the light blue that would have been used during the America's Cup races. The Yacht Defender was the victorious defender of the 10th America's Cup. As you can tell from my short summary, this series of races was troubled with challenges, and there's a lot more to it than I can cover here. Look for the next Peek into Paintings video in which we will discuss the crew from Deer Isle, Maine.